Welcome, ghoul friends, to the Gay Ugly Truth. This is Blue, and today I have a special episode, Halloween in the gay community. We will be talking about the history of Halloween, how it became a staple to the gay community, and how we love it and celebrate it. So throw on those hooker heels and paint those faces of fright, because it's time to dive into Halloween night. All right, my little monsters, let's get this party started. So we're going to talk about Halloween's history with the gay community. Now, I'm not talking about Halloween in general, what the history of it is, because there's many beliefs on how Halloween has gotten its name. But for the gay community, many hail Halloween as a gay Christmas. Halloween has a long history within the gay community. The modern phrase gay Christmas actually stems from an earlier queer nickname for the holiday, Bitches Christmas. Now, during the 1950s and 60s, Philadelphia's gay community celebrated Bitches and Christmas by dressing up in drag and partying in the city's gay bars. People by the hundreds would follow drag performers from bar to bar, forming some of the country's first queer Halloween parades. Now, while the parade still brings crowds in by the thousands, many have moved off the streets and into nightclubs which host Halloween-themed parties, making it one of the busiest and most profitable days of the year after Pride. The thing to think about is coming and transitioning in from the streets to the clubs, it gave you more of that sense of security. This way you could be more lavish in costumes, you can go a little bit more wild and not feel like you're going to get caught, judged, or bashed for you celebrating this holiday. And I know what you're thinking is okay, why did you have to go from the streets to a club to feel safe? You got to remember this is going back to the 50s, 60s, where being gay was not accepted. You know, it became to the point of being a crime. You would literally get almost killed for it. You would be put in prison for it. You would be slapped mentally insane. And these are the things to keep in mind as to why it became safer for us to go indoors. So why is the gay community so drawn to the holiday? It picks up on those older traditions that Halloween's a time for breaking all sorts of social boundaries and not be arrested for. It is the one time a year when everyone is allowed to be whoever they want to be. Even boring straight cisgender folks go queer for the night and walk on the wild side. And at this point, this is where the drag queen is born. Be it you're straight or gay, the majority of the crossing of that boundary is dressing like a woman. Those who feel they have to be in a closet the rest of the time can bust out in all their glory on Halloween night. And if anyone's questioning their identity, has that opportunity to try out another identity in public without the fear of judgment. When dawn breaks, some of those folks will have to turn back into pumpkins. Halloween gives us that opportunity to let our freak flag fly high and be as explicit and insane looking as possible without being judged. Now, as for Halloween parades for the gay community, many states in the U.S. do host and partake in those parades. But the biggest Halloween gay parade is my hometown, New York. So now let's do a little history on New York's Halloween parade. The Village Halloween Parade is an annual holiday parade on the night of every Halloween in the Greenwich Village of New York City. The parade initiated in 1974 by Greenwich Village puppeteer and mask maker Ralph Lee. Now, like me, and I know you're probably saying it, who's Ralph Lee? Ralph Lee is an American puppeteer and theater artist who worked and centered on the design and use of masks in theater and performance. The majority of his productions took place outside of a traditional performance venue, including parades, pageants, celebrations, and outdoor theatrical performances. Masks and large puppets are central to his productions, which aim to make artistic experience accessible to all members of the community. He staged his productions in a familiar public location, charging no admission fee whenever possible, and creating a vivid image that can immediately resonate with the audience. And like I said, in 1974, he organized the first Greenwich Village Halloween Parade, which he directed until 1985. The parade began in the courtyard of the West Bath artist community. During his time as a director, the parade grew from a small community event built around his masks and figures in one of New York City major events. This parade grew to attract over 250,000 people and caught the media's attention from around the world. New York City is the world's largest Halloween parade and the only major nighttime parade in the United States. The parade reports itself to have 50,000 costumed participants and 2 million spectators. So if you ever get the opportunity, go check out on Halloween night the Halloween parade in Greenwich Village. Now let's Monster Mash into the nightclub. So what is it about Halloween in the nightclub? Nightclubs go all out in decorating. They do contests, from costume contests. Some of them even do like pumpkin carving contests. And they'll even do some pretty risky games. In a good way, though. The most common thing they do, which is pretty much across the board on any Halloween celebration, is a costume contest. And in the costume contest, there's many different categories that are presented. One of the main ones is best drag. Like I said, the drag in the gay community and around Halloween time is extremely big. And this is where Halloween allows a person to explore cross-dressing or dressing like a woman. And this can be a straight person attempting to do it, or it could be a gay person attempting to do it. Another category would be the hottest couple. And then a standard one is the most creative costume. And some clubs do come up with their own categories based on what they want to see or how they do it. And basically what it is it's a standard win. You know, it could be a cash prize. It could be free drinks at the bar. It could be free entry depending on the level of the winner. Now, clubs have a tendency to go all out. You know, cost to them right now at this point, because of Halloween, is open to an extent. They usually pay top dollar on DJs. A lot of times it's a premier DJ or a really big name DJ. They'll put the money out for that. They'll also bring in some of the biggest drag queen entertainers, and they will put the money out for that because this is something that is so big that they're willing to spend that money because they know that they're going to recoup that money because of the amount of people that are going to attend these parties. So the next thing would be the bar. And at the bar, they would have creative drinks for the Halloween itself. And this could be a drink that's already been created that most bars usually have. Or this could be a drink that is created specifically by the club or by someone that gave them the idea, like say a patron. Now, not all bars will do this. They will offer food, like a finger food or a snack. More than likely, when you do enter the doors, there are candy available. They'll usually pass out candy to people that come into the club. There will also be like a raffle for like a basket. Sometimes it could be free drinks or free passes to the club for friends. After you grab your drink, your snack, your choice of what they are offering, you now can move on to the dance floor. And at the dance floor, you're either listening to one of the premier DJs or the top of the line DJs that they have. Like I said, they're willing to pay the money for the best. With premier DJs, they bring some of the best music to the table. It could be mixes from like Halloween classic sounds like Monster Mash. And then there's some mainstream artists that they bring tracks into that kind of have that Halloween vibe. For example, like Rihanna, Disturbia. You got Michael Jackson, Thriller, you've got Lady Gaga. I mean, you could go on forever. Many people don't realize that some of these mainstream songs can actually gear towards a Halloween party. And then the next line of entertainment would be the drag shows. You usually have drag queens that they pick or they pay top dollar. It could be, you know, a A-list drag queen. It could just be your town drag queen. And they'll put on shows geared towards a Halloween theme. Now, the costumes can be really, really extreme and very, very naughty. This is where I say the boundaries can be broken. A lot of times they will barely have any clothes on. The other thing is that, like I said, in the gay community, image is everything. So if you got a banging body or you're well endowed, you are more than likely going to find a costume or create a costume that's going to showcase it all off with nothing to hide. And those that have the body and the golden ticket are pretty much the ones that are going to end up winning that contest. And some other costumes that you will see that you pretty much will never see in the mainstream, and most of those costumes are the ones that usually come from adult bookstores. And that we call the exotic costumes. And these costumes are usually like the naughty nurse or the naughty priest. It could also be some type of a fantasy fairy that's exposing more than a normal costume would. It just gets insane. And this is something that is really big in gay clubs. You will see a lot of sex-driven costumes. So if you want to see George of the Jungle's Vine swinging, you are sure more than likely going to see that. Now, it's not always all about the sex-driven costumes. You can sometimes get some really, really extravagant costumes that are just normal. Gay people have a very, very good eye at fashion and design, and they may come up with some of these costumes that you would never think of, or they would take a simple costume and create it to be something extravagant. Going to a Halloween party at a gay club, you will not be disappointed. It will be probably one of the best nights you've had all year. Now, straight people also frequent gay nightclubs on Halloween because it gives them that outlet to be as extreme. Believe it or not, it's like almost we come together as one. And this is where the straight people can break those boundaries and do what they want. You can't go to the neighborhood's Halloween party dressed in a naughty nurse outfit and get away with it. You can't even go to a straight club and dress like that sometimes. They do have their limits at straight clubs where they are like, okay, you can wear this, you can't wear that. A lot of the guys are going to wear those simple, boring costumes. But we don't have those boundaries. We will let you literally walk in there with just a cloth around you. And we don't care. We have an open book when it comes to Halloween. And that's why so many people come to our parties. Now, let's leave the club, go home, get out of our costume, relax, take a shower, grab some popcorn, and sit down and watch a Halloween movie. So there are staples of Halloween movies that the gay community enjoys. One of the biggest and most iconic Halloween movie that the gay community enjoys is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This movie here, we create a lot of our looks from this movie and our Halloween parties as a costume. There's also events that go on around this. A lot of times they will have showings at the nightclub in a specific area of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That is like one of the biggest movies that we embrace because of its gay reference. And sometimes what they'll do is a lot of people will have a party before going out to the nightclub of this show, or what they could do is they can have that show another night before Halloween or how they're planning it. Or the other thing is they can go after the club and go watch this movie. Another iconic gay movie for Halloween is The Little Shop of Horrors. We embrace that as well. It's just the way that it is, the character, the musical part of it. That's something we're driven to, is we enjoy musicals. And some other movies would be like The Craft or Carrie. I know that there's not music in those. I'm not sure what's driven behind them as why we like them so much. I don't know if it's the strong female role, the empowerment of it, but those are two things that definitely are a staple for us to watch during Halloween. Now, I saved the best movie for last. Hocus Pocus. One of the biggest reasons why we find that to be the biggest staple alongside the Rocky Horror Picture Show is because of Bette Midler. She is one of the gay community's icons, but also you have two other big ones that are very big in the gay community, which is Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy. Now, the drag queens eat this movie up, and they do that because they're able to portray the costumes of the Sanderson sisters. And then there also is that iconic song, I Put a Spell on You. A lot of your drag queens will take that song and perform to them. Sometimes it'll be a solo performance, and then sometimes they'll actually get other drag queens together to create the three Sanderson sisters and perform it. Now, I know Hocus Pocus 2 just recently came out this year, and I don't know if there's going to be songs that they're going to pull from that to perform as well. Bette Midler did give us like 2 other new songs off of that track that would incorporate something that we can use, but I'm pretty sure you're going to start seeing performances on Halloween night with the combination of the Hocus Pocus 1 and the Hocus Pocus 2. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a review on the Hocus Pocus 2, my little personal opinion. I loved Hocus Pocus 2. Yep, its opening was iconic. It brought everything into perspective. They left that ending as to where something could happen again, give you that part 3. Hopefully they don't wait as long as they did on the part 3. I personally have already watched it like 3 times myself, but I do love Hocus Pocus 2, and I'm so glad they were able to come together and recreate that movie. So all my ghoul friends, we have come to the end. I do appreciate you checking out the Halloween episode. I hope you're able to walk away from as much information as I shared with you and give you that idea as to what we do, where it came from, and how we celebrate it. So if this was your first time listening, I appreciate that. Be also sure to check out my other episodes, which would be Sex in the Gay Community and Relationships in the Gay Community. We do have a new episode coming out on November 4th called Clicks in the Gay Community, and we will go into the gay animal kingdom, which will discuss how some people identify identify themselves, and it's typically like a bear or a otter. Like I said, that episode is going to be awesome, so make sure you check that out as well. And if you have any questions, comments, or want to give me any information, you can always reach me at thegayuglytruth22@gmail.com. Again, that's thegayuglytruth22@gmail.com. Be sure also to check out my Instagram and Facebook page, as well as YouTube, The Gay Ugly Truth. And here you'll get the inside scoop of what's to come, any new episodes or information that you would want to know or share. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. I hope you have a safe and enjoyable Halloween. And again, thank you, and we'll see you soon.